Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Ramatu Muhammad, your host and moderator for the Georgia Inclusive Post-Secondary Education Parent Webinar Series. Today, we're having a webinar titled Advocacy 101, and our presenter is Kylie Moore.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
How are you?
So, before we start, a little bit about myself. I am the family support staff with Center for Leadership in Disability at Georgia State University, Center for Leadership in Disability. I'm a parent of 4 children, and my oldest daughter is living with autism disorder, and she also has cerebral palsy. So a little bit about Kylie. Kylie Moore is 30 years old and she lives in Roswell, Georgia. She has been a disability advocate for 8 years. She works at the Bobby Dodd Institute and is the creator and facilitator of a unique leadership self-advocacy program called the Ambassador Program. The Ambassador Program teaches young adults with developmental disabilities how to talk about their disabilities and how to advocate for themselves and become influential members of their society. She currently has 30 graduates. She can't wait to continue to make a difference in the lives of others. So here you go. Kylie would say a few words before we start the presentation.
Thank you all for the beautiful. I've created this presentation for parents to show their kids how they advocate for themselves. So hopefully you enjoy the presentation. And I look forward to talking to you afterwards. So enjoy. Talk to you soon.
So a few things to note. While the presentation is going on, you can feel free to drop any questions in the question bar, and we will be answering all questions at the end of the presentation. If you cannot type your question, please use the raise the hand option, and I will get to you at the end of the presentation and unmute you to verbally ask your question. We did record part of the presentation so that it can move smoothly for everyone. Once that part is done, Kylie is going to also be still here with me to answer the questions. So.
Title page slide. AADD_PPT_title slide _1.jpg. Advocacy 101. Kylie Moore. Bobby Dodd Institute.
Hey everybody, welcome to Advocacy Story. My name is Kylie Moore, and I am the progressive person for the Georgia Institute. Let me tell you a little bit about myself.
Personal information. Bachelor's in Psychology, Reinhardt University. Worked in the disability community for 8 years. Graduate of Partners and Policy Making 2011. Completed Land Advocacy Fellowship at Georgia State 2012. Created Ambassador Program, a self-advocacy class in 2014 at All About Developmental Disabilities, AADD. Facilitated 7 ambassador classes with 37 graduates. Employed 5 years with the Bobby Dodd Institute, BDI, formerly AADD.
That's who I am. Now let's tell what we're going to see.
A note on the presentation. I usually give this advocacy presentation to my students in the Ambassador Program who are young adults with disabilities who are learning to be self-advocates. I have changed the presentation to gear it more towards parents who want to teach their children how to be self-advocates.
So I know we go on this approach at this parents, professionals, providers. So hopefully this presentation for everybody. but also you can see their own book. Let's go for the cover.
Topics covered. Encourage your child to have their own voice. Define self-advocacy and how it will help your child become more independent. Strategies to teach your child how to advocate for themselves. Advocacy versus self-advocacy. Topics covered. Issues that you or your child has a passion for. Discuss opportunities that your child can advocate for themselves.
Okay, let's get started.
Having your voice heard. When children with disabilities are young, they count on their parents to take care of them and make most of their decisions. As people with disabilities get older, they need their parents to encourage them to take an active role in their lives to become more independent.
So yes, when children are young, their parents are their advocate, and then you earn to get from what they want to. But as they get older, there has to be a shift. Advocacy first here. Advocacy one shot.
Having your voice heard. As a parent, it may be hard for you to let your children have more control over their lives. The more you do to teach them to advocate for themselves, the more it will help them to become more independent in the long run.
But even though you want to get control to yourself, it's going to help transition process as they graduate high school and go on to school work. You need destiny so they can be the people in their future.
Having your voice heard. Always remind your child that their voice and ideas matter. Coach your child to speak up for themselves and express their ideas.
It's your job as a or professional to encourage kids to do it, to have their voice heard. They may not have this encouragement in every situation that they're in, but if you do it, they'll get more confident. When somebody hears their voice and ideas matter, it makes them feel good. It'll make them more advocate when they hear from the kids.
Questions to think about. What things could your child start doing on their own? Does your child make any of their decisions on their own? Does your child know his or her daily schedule? Does your child have goals for the future?
So these are questions that you can think about for yourself and with your child to encourage the introduction of advocacy. Now, when they're wearing this skill and they make their own decisions, they're taking baby steps to become the advocate you and they know they can be.
What is advocacy? Advocacy is standing up for an idea or cause. Speaking up on behalf of someone else.
So advocacy is for speaking up for ideas. For the advocate, you give a voice to somebody who can. Now, parents and professionals, that's what you do. But again, hopefully that shift to self-advocacy will occur.
What is advocacy? Advocacy is standing and speaking up for your rights and the rights of others.
So we all have responsibility. So advocates can go work together as a community to defend the rights but as powerful as advocacy is, there's something you need to now let's talk about self-advocacy.
What is self-advocacy? Self-advocacy is speaking up for yourself, asking for what you want or need, knowing what is going on in your life.
Okay. Self-advocacy is when a child becomes aware of who they are and what they want to the future. It can be simple, saying, I want to go to the park, in a movie, or I want to eat. It's weird things that are out of
Teaching advocacy. Advocacy is a skill that can and should be taught at an early age. It can be as simple as asking your child what clothes they want to wear or what activities they want to participate in. The more choices they have, the more independent they will become.
But teaching advocacy, you can start when you're young, and it's cute because the more that a child is doing, the way they recognize, the better off they'll be. I was taught to advocate for my parents at every age. I just put them move with the school bus to court, but it turns out I was always an advocate. So, you child may already doing it, but now they have a word to go with what they're doing. And it's all about choices. They have choices. Once you prove then they will pick up the need and want and be able to advocate for. So let's say this. Advocacy and self-advocacy is power.
Things your child can do to become a self-advocate. Teach them about the resources that are available to them. Teach them their rights. Help them understand their disability and how to explain it to others.
So, within the disability community, there's several resources, such as both teacher rehabilitation and SDI, Social Security, Medicaid, post-secondary education, improvement opportunities. Yeah, and if your child is aware of these things, then they're going to know what to ask for when they get older. Teaching about the book is very important too. Teaching about the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, the individual with disabilities education act, IDEA, and the workforce opportunity and innovation act. These are acts giving people with disabilities their rights that your child will be with. Also, to be an advocate to be self-aware, to have conversations about your child's disability with themselves. Don't hide the disability from them. Help them understand it. Because they know what their strengths are and what their limitations are. They can be better equipped to ask questions and to ask for accommodation that they need because of this book. Self-awareness and self-advocacy go hand in hand.
Issues you are passionate about. Are there any issues you or your child are passionate about? What could you do to advocate for those issues?
When you ask people what they care about, what issues are important to them, how can they advocate for those? And how can they help you advocate within your classroom? Work together. They are a complete awesome book. That's right. So here's some examples of self-advocacy.
Examples of self-advocacy. Picking out your own clothes. Deciding what activities you want to do on the weekends. Keeping track of your daily schedule. Setting your own goals.
Be simple.
Examples of self-advocacy. Going and participating in IEP/vocational rehab meetings. Asking for accommodations in school or at work. Telling what kinds of jobs you are interested in. Asking questions when you don't understand something.
But also having your own book. That's your idea. It's not just being in the book, but changing when you're in the book. And if you put yourself, you'll better know what to say. So that's what some advocacy also. Having a place at the table and knowing what they need.
Examples of self-advocacy. Understanding your rights as a person with a disability and being able to send a letter about your rights not being met to your legislator. Talking to teachers/counselors about your needs. Asking for accessible seating or better access at a restaurant, concert, or sporting event.
Now you try not to go through all these things, but small, and work your way under. Find your hand in the bush, after that. Now it's some activity. We still have that. You try to do together. Or you and your clients or students. Let's take a look at these activities.
Self-advocacy story. This activity can help your child remember an advocacy experience that they had. Ask your child to think of a time when they stood up for themselves or someone else. Describe the situation. What made them want to do something? What actions did they take? What happened? How did they feel afterwards?
So this is when you see things to do exactly what. Have my students come up with a solution to it. Now the biggest asking for certain changes or asking for more on tips. It can be big situations or small things, you know? But asking to describe the situation they were in. What made them want to do something? What actions did they take? What was the results? How did people stand up for yourself after you did? When kids are aware that they're already eligible, they're going to want to do more. And that's progress is made. You know, they may not be aware they're eligible, but they are. It's just up to you to identify it. Okay. Now we're going to look at a game I created based on the business user. So we all know the show what we can do on NBC. agency thought. Well, I create the real self-advocacy game that teaches a major difference for students. Never teach you how to play with yourself or your students. Here's how it works.
What would you do? This is an advocacy game that I play with my students in the Ambassador program. It helps students improve their advocacy and decision-making skills. I give them situations that could happen into them in real life. Students are asked to pick an answer and explain their choice.
So, I give you a proof of situation, and then I give you one of those answers. Now, they're missing one of the right answer. But what I believe is it's not about being right, but explain the decision you make. So you don't just ask them to the answer. You better ask them to say, okay, why? Why would you do it? It's not the picking of the answer. I believe that the explanation is important. Now, I'm giving you some examples of questions that I use, and then you can make up your own question. Let's take a look.
Situation 1. You see a student bullying another student using the R word. What would
you do?
Scream back at them and call them names. B. Do nothing and walk away. C. Tell your teacher what you heard and saw. D. Talk to the other student, letting them know why they should not say those things.
Thank you for choices. Now, obviously, A, not that I answered, but you never know, could be somebody good. Some kids say, I don't want to make it work. I need to be. And I said, B, but you gotta ask why. C, do you good? And C, you're talking to me to get help. And D, you're taking the problem and you don't want to.
Situation 2. You are interested in applying for a job. You read the application online and feel like you may need assistance understanding and answering the questions. What would you do to get the help you need while trying to remain independent?
So this is the struggle we all face. How do you get help with being independent?
A. Ask your parents to fill out the application for you. B. Fill out the application on your own and leave blank the questions that you don't understand. C. Try to fill out as much of the application on your own, then ask your parents to explain the questions you don't understand to you.
Now, honestly, A, some parents may do, but that would be making a parent do it for you, not live. We need to say, but people are not going to get good at it. C doesn't go for it.
Situation 3. You have an accommodation that you need tests read to you, but your teacher forgets. What would you do?
How would you ever get in school?
A. Do nothing. Take the test without the accommodation. B. Remind your teacher that tests have to be read to you. C. Yell at your teacher. D. Put your head down and cry.
This is interesting because sometimes kids don't want to brush the book, so they take it without getting help. But that's not good advocacy because if you get a accommodation, you should have it. So actually, kids, okay, how are you going to get the help you need? Think about it.
Situation 4. Your mom wants you to work at a warehouse sorting products, but you want to work at a bakery making cookies and cakes. What do you do?
I didn't sit down the all, but okay, what we want to do? I look.
Agree with your mom and not say what you want. Tell your mom what you want to do. You apply for a job at the bakery and not at the warehouse without telling anyone. You argue with your mom and say she never wants what you want.
And then can we go and he's big, or can we go home? Right? Right? To end because they want her different views. And we're not including the English to include the parents. I am including to what they want to need. Because it is important. She's not good, but it's not true. Indeed, it ain't gonna get you anywhere. But this is the best part. So like I said, I brought this game much good. You really want this game. You can use my questions or make up your own. Have fun with it. Because being so arrogant can be fun. So here's some closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Teach your child about self-advocacy at an early age. Always encourage your child to have their own voice. Remember, teaching self-advocacy will help your child become more independent in every area of their lives.
So yes, self-advocacy is vital. Teach at an early age, encourage to have their own voice, and continue advocating for the rest of their lives. Here's my contact information. Now I'll take some questions.
My contact information: Kylie Moore, Bobby Institute, Ambassador Program Coordinator, 404-881-0603, Kylie.moore@bobby.org.
Thank you.
I've entered it. Now you will see what. Hello. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Kylie, for a very insightful presentation. Let me stop the share now. Okay. It's now time for us to take some questions. Yes. Let's see. I saw some questions already.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So the question says, will this PowerPoint be made available? I have done some teaching to parents on this subject, but would love to incorporate these ideas also.
Yes. Rather than have the PowerPoint, so she can share it with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we would have this webinar and all past webinars are archived at the Georgia Inclusive Post-Secondary Education Consortium website. It's GA. Let me type it in so that it will be easier for you all to see. It's GAI GAPSEC SEC.org. And the first letter is lowercase. So this is going to be the website where you can see the recording and listen to it, and you can always go back to it because it's going to be archived there. And the PowerPoint also for the presentation will be made available on the website. We're here for you. Keep the questions coming. Okay, someone has their hand raised up. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to unmute you, Miriam, to ask your question. Miriam Ash, I'm going to say it wrong, but you raise your hand. You can go ahead and ask your question. Is Miriam there? We'll move to the next question. Oh, okay, you have a question. You've typed it elsewhere. So, what is an ambassador program? How do you become one?
Okay, so investing program is one more money to become one. You have to have a bookkeeping real careful, and then you have to do an intake board interview, and then classes are open when we have enough people to take the program. Can you repeat what I said?
Okay. So, she said Kylie said that for you to be on the ambassador program, you have to have a VR counselor, and then it's usually done in the Bobby Dodd Institute and office at Decatur, Georgia, and you need also to apply for it, and then you would come for an intake interview. Then after that, if you qualify, you could be part of it.
Yes.
Yes. The next, okay, Sabrina wants me to repeat the website. So it is GAIPSEC.org. But I'm going to send you all a follow-up email, and it's going to have the website. And if the recording is ready, it will already have a link to the YouTube of the recording of the presentation. Any more questions? While we wait, I would like to inform you that next week we're going to have another webinar called the Benefits Navigation. It's going to be presented by Sally Atwell, and she's going to talk about SSI, and she was going to talk about like if you have an employment and how do you keep your SSI. So she's going to tell you how to navigate all the different benefits that one with disability could have. So it's going to be an interesting presentation because I know a lot of people have questions around that. Any more questions?
Yeah, I'm here for you.
So, does anyone have any more questions to ask? We are here.
Happy to talk to you.
Yeah. Well, I'll just give 2 more minutes. If nobody has any more questions, then maybe we would come to an end. I'm glad they kind of understood almost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when the questions don't come much, is because probably everything you talked about was pretty well understood.
My email is on the presentation.
Yes, the email is going to be on the presentation too. It will be the PowerPoint of the presentation would be available, and so 1 more minute and we would be done anyway. So let me just wrap up. If any questions come in now, we would have to send it to you via email. Thank you very much, Kylie, for a very well understood presentation. And I have myself learned a lot as a parent, and I do hope a lot of parents are going to use this presentation to help individuals or their children, or if they're professionals, use it to help their students to become better advocates for themselves. I'm going to send you all an email that would have a short survey, less than 3-minute survey, so that we ask just a few questions about how the presentation went, what you wish was different, and then it also would has a question that asks, what do you want to hear from us again? So that this is a work in progress. The more you tell us what you want to hear about, and the more I secure presenters and present it to parents. So any questions, any pressing need that we don't already have lined up, please do let us know in the survey what you want to hear from us. And then all previous presentations that we have had are archived on the GuideSec website, and then also upcoming ones would be there. And then registration link for the GuideSec presentations and all the webinars are all there for the upcoming ones. Thank you so much for being part of this presentation, and I do hope you have a pleasant week.
Bye.
Bye.